Okay, my mic next here. We're going to the NFL here, boys.
Here we go.
My mic is Russell Wilson. I want to have a Russell Wilson conversation with you guys from a couple perspectives. So first of all, he's 35 years old. I think 2 years ago he was first ballot Hall of Famer. Super Bowl with Seattle. The numbers were there. Two of the weirdest vibe years in recent NFL history. When you talk about a top quarterback going somewhere. It never felt right in Denver, from the Nathaniel Hackett stuff all the way through the Sean Payton stuff. He winds up opening up to the media. He never opens up to the media. He's basically just a corporate robot who says, let's ride and whatever, right? And he winds up opening up and talking about how he confirmed the team approached him after that Chiefs win about altering his contract and the injury guarantee. So if they cut him, which it looks like they're going to, right? Denver would have an $85 million dead cap charge in 2024. If they do a post-June 1st designation, they could split the dead money over 2024-25. So basically, they're going to eat $85 million in cap just to get rid of Russell Wilson. So I have a speculative question, but my first question to you guys as players in the locker room, what do you think of this? His numbers are not terrible this year, but there was another clip floating around social media a couple games ago. I didn't see the actual game live, but where he drops back, gets sacked, and 5 offensive linemen just kind of look at him in disgust, and nobody helps him up. This has been happening for 2 straight years now in Denver. Something is off and weird with Russell Wilson in Denver to the point where they're going to eat $85 million in dead cap.
Okay, so I'm going to say this because somebody actually just asked me about this, and they were like, dude, what do you think about the Russ Wilson thing? Mackey, I think I was on the show with you when he left, and I was like, this is a bad decision. He needs to stay in Seattle. Everything about Russ Wilson is in Seattle. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, the way they play football. Those guys are just in sync. Tyler Lockett and Russ Wilson were one of the most spectacular quarterback receivers that I have ever seen. Like Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne. We're going back to watch some dudes. Those guys were fun. What the hell, when he went to Denver, made anyone think it was going to be any different? Was there a way better O-line there? Was there a way better run back? What's going on? I'm confused as to why everyone thought this was going to be great. But then not only that, but last night I started reading that a lot of this is starting to spawn from Sean Payton, it sounds like. He's mad because Russ can't operate at a Drew Brees level. Brees,
he's not like the on
dude,
time.
What the fuck do you think is going to happen? One is a stand back there and zip it 350 yards a game type dude. And the other one is I run around and make things happen because I'm special and spectacular. It's 2 totally opposite things. And at the same time, if I was a player and my quarterback was approached, I sat on the NFLPA board, on the NFLPA. If he came to me and was like, hey, they just came to me and told me they wanted me to alter my contract, I would have went upstairs and kicked a fucking door in. Been like, are you out of your mind? Don't worry, I already called the president, the vice president, legal counsel. They're all on their way here. Did you just threaten to cut a player if he didn't change his fucking contract? You said
not cut, bench.
Pretty much benching or cutting. Yeah. You're pretty much cutting him. Did you just threaten one of the top fucking quarterbacks in this league? Are you stupid? Let me show you how this world works, just for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, it shows you the lack of respect to do that. I mean, how many?
It's not even a lack of respect. It's stupidity.
The PA is going to absolutely
going to eat them. They're going to pay them that $85 million now because Russ came out. And by the way, Russ has a great, respectable name in the league. I want you to know that.
Yeah. Yes.
If Russell Wilson comes out and says they threatened to bench me if I didn't change my contract, they might as well just pay him $500 million because she could turn around right now and the PA is going to be like, you did what? You idiots threatened to bench a guy who's guaranteed $85 million if he's here or not on this earth? Are you crazy?
Yeah. I mean, you can't. Why even sign a contract, right? Why even sign a contract if that's the way that you're going to look at it, and that's the way that a team feels like they can approach you and be like, hey, I know we both agreed to terms, and I know we both signed this, but we want to save our asses some money. So will you alter this? Of course not. That's so dumb. And yeah, did it work out in Denver? No, but that's tough shit. You signed it, right? There's no you don't get to backtrack now because it didn't work out like the golden ball that you thought it could. Now, I think Russ has handled it extremely well, because I think he does know he's in the right. I think if he felt like he was in the wrong, then he might be trying to go, but he's in the right. He handled it well. He went out there, he played, did his thing, and now Jared Stidham's show, I guess, here to the end. But, the PA and the NFL is not going to allow this to happen. And is it really that surprising that Sean Payton did this? Like, the guy that will stretch the rules as far as they can go, like, it's not surprising. I think it's a bad look. And, I don't know. This is going to here's my biggest issue. They're going to punish Sean Payton, right? They're going to punish. They're going to fine him or whatever. But eventually, the only way you can really punish guys is if you punish the team by taking away draft picks or taking away practices and whatever. And that's the part that sucks. Is like it's going to end up hurting the team, and this team's going to be in cap hell for the next 3 years. Yeah. Right, like the Chiefs are sitting over there going, good. Like we're going to be shitty for the next couple of years. We rebuild, but you guys are going to be worse because you're going to be paying someone $85 million who's not even there.
The Chargers are excited.
Oh my!
The Chargers are excited. The Vegas is like they're done for the next 3 years.
They're toast. They're toast for 3 years.
Think about this though. I want you to think about this. When Sean Payton left the Saints, what was their cap situation? They were like
60 million over.
Yeah, 70 in the hole. I'm just saying. Okay. Sometimes you can kick the can down the road. That's what we call it. Everyone's just going to kick the can down the road, and the next guy will have to deal with it when we get fired. But I'm telling you right now, there are some things that you get into, and you're like, how the fuck did you get that far in debt? Like, we all knew the number was 200, and you went to 270? Are you crazy? Yeah. Like, dude, I don't know.
Where do you think? Here's question 2 on the Russ front. All right, so Jeremy Fowler from ESPN floated 3 teams as potential. I think we all agree he's not playing for Denver next year.
No, that relationship is spoiled.
So Jeremy Fowler named the Falcons, the Steelers, and the Patriots as teams that could pursue Russell Wilson in free agency.
Falcons.
Those 3 teams, and are there any other teams? Where do you think he has any gas left in the tank? Like where
I think he should come here. I think you should come to Minnesota. I think that this would be.
Whoa!
I'm just
stop. What did we just talk about what KOC wants? KOC wants a timing, throw it, let it roll. Like that's what KOC wants. That's not what Russ is. We just talked about that. That's not what he is. Now I think if I'm Russ, I'm taking a very team-friendly deal at wherever I go because he has offset language. For those of you that don't know what offset language is, that essentially saying that like whatever you get paid for by another team will offset how much we have to pay you from this dead cap money.
So you can stick it to Denver. He can play for
100%.
He can play for minimum.
He won't play for a minimum because the PA won't allow it because that sets a market for quarterbacks, right? But if I'm Russ, I'm signing like 2 year for 15. Right? Like with some incentives that maybe I can get myself up to 20, so 10 a year. Right? So that way you're still making $10 million. But at the end of the day, Denver's floating like 70 to 80% of your bill. And another team gets a great quarterback that maybe still has some gas in the tank, maybe doesn't, but gets them at a team-friendly deal because Denver's paying and footing the biggest bills. So I think Atlanta's a good spot for him. I think Atlanta's be more of a good fit for him. I don't think Patriot Way is necessarily where Russ wants to be. I also think the Patriots are going to be in a position to pick a really good quarterback. Yeah. Like the Patriots are going to be right up there to pick Drake May, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix. Like they don't need him. Atlanta, I think has enough holes that if they can get a stopgap in quarterback for right now, they need some other help. They need a lot of help elsewhere.
Steelers are interesting because you've got now Pickens as a whole. Pickens since the blocking controversy. He has had a couple big games, but he's a big downfield threat, right? Russell Wilson needs someone. He drops back, the first read isn't there, or he rolls out, and he needs a go ball, right? Yeah. So
he needs a YOLO. He needs a YOLO guy.
He needs people around him too, though. He needs a lot of weapons. Like, dude, the guy like that, you put him on the move and you put people around him. It's just like the old Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City when Tyreek was there and they had Kelsey. And I'm trying to think of who else was there. Was it Robinson? There was somebody else that was there. Like the three of them.
Mecole Hardman.
Like just running around. Like 3 of the best guys running around. And you're like, dude, how am I going to chase any of these guys? Dude, find a system like that. But not only, here's what I'm most mad about this, is that George is kind of behind a little bit of this. And I always loved George. I always loved George to death. And it was like, George, what are you doing, man? Like, you can't do that, dude. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. And the fact that this even got out is insane to me. The fact that it even happened. And somebody's like, yeah, they tried to get me to do this. Never
I
thought
think
I'd
old
see
George, you might be the fall guy here. When it's
Well, we'll also have to see. I mean, the PA is going to be terrified. This is going to try and set a precedent. And this is why they're going to stick it to Sean Payton. Like, you don't think Cleveland's going to try and do the same thing to Deshaun Watson? Right? Like, you don't think all these mega deals that these quarterbacks had, or teams are going to start trying to find a way to wiggle out of, because that's the problem. And that's why I think this could be the wake up to the NFL front offices of, like, we got to stop paying quarterbacks this crazy amount of money. Like, we have to, because if it doesn't work out, we're tanking on the rest of our team for a long time, right? So that might be the only positive that comes out of this, is it might see teams starting to pull the reins back a little bit on just backing the Brinks truck up and dumping money at these guys' feet. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out through free agency this year.
And how about the new owner? This guy just bought the team. Wait, what? What? Who signed this? You're definitely fired.
Dude, some of the teams that are, if you just look at like average annual value for quarterbacks, Joe Burrow got hurt, but $55 million a year. The Bengals are not the force they were a couple years ago. The Chargers are about to pay Justin Herbert $52 million a year, and they're firing everybody. Lamar Jackson, that is working as well as probably any top-paid quarterback in the league in Baltimore. You know, Russell Wilson is top 5 on this list. Kyler Murray is 6th on this list. Deshaun Watson. Generally, I know teams get desperate because there's only like 18 or 20 dudes in the world that can be that quarterback. But you got to build a 53-man roster.
Yeah,
too.
Right.
You're only as good as your roster, man. Yeah, you're only as good as your roster.